Thank you so much. I want to give a congratulations to my fellow honorees this evening. It's really daunting to go up here after them, so I'll try my best. And a huge thank you to the National Women's History Museum, the organizers and volunteers, and all of the supporters. It is such an honor, and I feel so humbled to be up here this evening accepting this award. You know, I remember growing up as a little girl, reading in history books what it meant to be an engineer or scientist. And I had an image in my head growing up of Albert Einstein and Leonardo da Vinci and Thomas Edison and all of these role models that were always the old white man with white hair, who, no offense to those in the room. And you know, I always had this image that they were this genius, you know, and they would be alone at a, well, before computers even, sitting alone in their lab or with their computer, you know, computing all of these math problems, and they never had any friends in my mind. And so my senior year of high school, when my math teacher suggested I pursue engineering, you could imagine my response. I had absolutely no interest in fixing train engines or having grease all over me. So I never saw myself in that field. But I followed her advice, and my freshman year at Stanford, I tried mechanical engineering. And I'm really glad that I did, because that one class that first day completely changed all of the stereotypes and the terrible things I had thought about engineering. I realized how empowering it truly was to develop a skill set where you can invent anything to change the world. And to me, that I knew it was my true passion. But those classes at Stanford, they were always very male-dominated, and oftentimes I was the only girl in the group, and I always knew there was this feeling that the guys were bummed that they got stuck with the girl. And most of my professors were male, and the TAs were male, and time again, you know, I stuck with that major, I think, because I'm incredibly stubborn. But I doubted myself, and I almost dropped it 1,000,000 times. And years after I graduated, I was talking with a friend about the lack of women in engineering, and she talked about growing up with her older brother's construction toys, and that got her interested in engineering. And we said, yeah, why is it that boys get all the great brain teasers and chemistry sets and construction toys, and girls get stuck playing with brushing dolls' hair all day long? And, you know, I remember her saying that to me, and in that moment I thought, yeah, you know, why is that? And I'm sure, well, by now times have changed. And the next day I went to the toy store, and that's when I saw the pink aisle for girls and the blue aisle for boys. And it was almost worse than when I was a little girl. The pink aisle, literally, to this day, go check it out if you don't have kids. It is ironing boards and decorating sets and makeup and cosmetics and pop stars and this, you know, impossible image of beauty and perfection. And meanwhile, the blue aisle has got all the cool STEM stuff, I'm telling you. And from that moment, you know, I knew that there was a gap here, and there's, you know, for every Albert Einstein and Thomas Edison and Leonardo da Vinci, now today's kids get Sid the Science Kid and Bob the Builder and Handy Manny, and it is a boys' club, and it starts when we're really young. And that's when I felt like finally I had an opportunity that that my story and my experience, that my voice and my perspective was badly needed. And that's when I decided I had to develop Goldieblox for all of those girls out there who grew up with those history books and those role models, and they never saw themselves, and they never knew that they were capable, or that they might have this interest inside of them that nobody had encouraged or motivated, or was told that it was just for boys or nerdy. And that's when, that one day in the pink aisle 3 years ago, I just had this feeling inside of me that it was what I was born to do. And in developing Goldieblox, I ventured into the toy industry, which is even more male-dominated than engineering. and into entrepreneurship in Silicon Valley, which is even more male-dominated than the toy industry. And I can't tell you over the past few years in building my business how challenging it has been. And again, feeling like a minority and one of the few women. But now, standing up here and getting recognized today, there's so much more work to do. But it means a lot to me because it proves to me that I do belong. And the fact that I belong means that there are millions of girls out there who are just like me, who have so much potential. And I hope that my story and my products and what I'm developing can be that little spark. Because every girl deserves that spark. Not every girl will have Mary Verle as their math teacher in high school. But that push that she gave me and that belief in me changed my life and opened so many doors. And the thought that I could do that for just one little girl, that's what gets me up every morning and gets me so inspired. So thank you so much for recognizing me today. It really means the world to me, and I accept this award, not just for me, but for all the little girls who I hope to inspire.